Hi, this is Beru, and I'm going to walk you through healing the heroic Zon'ozz encounter from a Resto Druid perspective. Of the first four heroics, for me, this one was the most challenging to really feel comfortable with utilizing the Resto Druid toolkit, so I'm going to spend some extra time going over how to navigate the black phases where there's heavy raid damage that needs to be healed up very quickly. At the start of the fight here, as our first soaker takes their bounce, I trigger Nature's Grace and I make sure to hot the first three soakers and then work on hotting the raid while Nature's Grace is active, keeping Swift Mend and Wild Growth on cooldown. When the first set of debuffs comes out, I prefer to switch into Tree of Life here. Some people may prefer it during the dark phases. For me, I found that I liked it better during these quote-unquote light damage phases to really help conserve my mana so that I had a good amount of mana to spend during each of the dark phases when the healing is significantly heavier. So I go into Tree of Life, I Life Bloom all of the debuffed people, I continue to Swift Mend on cooldown and Wild Growth on cooldown, and generally just try to help the other healers keep the raid topped up while conserving mana for the black phases. Now I'm going to Tranquility the first and third black phases. You may have to find when that fits best for your raid team, but I liked to do it the first and third. When we were learning this fight, I was paired with a shaman, and he would use his 4-piece bonus on the second and I guess final black phase, since I didn't have Tranquility to assist with the healing. During the black phases, I make a point to keep Life Bloom on myself. I am responsible for healing the 2 melee that stay on Zon'ozz and then assisting the shaman with the tentacle group that he has that usually has 2 to 3 melee and a ranged in it. During the black phase, I rely very heavily on Rejuve. I Swift Mend underneath my melee group there, since that'll hit both of them, and then I will Rejuve and Regrowth freely to keep everybody else alive while keeping Life Bloom active on me. And it's really important to utilize Bark Skin during those phases to help mitigate some of that damage. Now, one of the things that you won't see in this video right now, but I do want to talk about, is solo healing a group. I did have the opportunity in our kill this week to solo heal my group because one of our 3 priests was out, and I did do just fine with it. Once, you know, I think it was our 3rd or 4th kill came around, the groups were pretty comfortable with what to do, so it wasn't too much trouble. But I do want to walk through what I did in that instance in case you're in a position where you also need to solo heal your group through the black phase. The first thing I did was make sure that I was positioned well in advance where my group was going to be so that I was ready to just start landing heals as soon as the black phase hit. I had my Life Bloom on myself ready to go when the black phase hit, and I had made sure to save Nature's Grace for the black phase, and so I would pre-hot my group with hasted hots, rejuves, to make sure that they were ready to go. I would get a hasted Swift Mend and Efflorescence down underneath the group, and then I would fill in the group with rejuves, regrowths when it was necessary, because sometimes you really need that speedy heal, and a healing touch if I got really desperate. That worked pretty well. My group really made an effort to, you know, watch the damage that they were taking as much as that's possible and interrupting the eye stalks and that sort of thing, and stand inside the good healing puddles to heal up. So now back to this fight. We're on our sort of third light phase here, and again I'm back to the rotation I started with. I popped Tree of Life here as the debuffs went out to go into mana conservation mode so that I continue to make sure I have sufficient mana to get towards the end of the fight. I run Life Blooms on those who have the debuff. I don't hesitate to toss those instant cast regrowths out when needed and Swift Swiftmen as needed to deal with the damage that is going out in the raid and help where I can. We're going into our third and mostly final black phase here. I keep that life bloom on me. I get a trank running straight away as the black phase hits, and I'm going to continue to get my group topped off. You see I triggered Nature's Grace there so that I have hasted rejuves and wild growths and swiftmens for it. And I'm just going to cycle through the party members of my group with rejuves, swiftmen when need be, and any sort of direct healing that they may need to help stabilize them, such as regrowth or healing touch to make sure that they stay topped off. Now we're going into the final part of the fight here, which is this is our last sort of light phase that we have. You can see, ignored some of the eye stalks to make sure that we had the DPS available to meet the enrage timer. And healing is really tight here at the end because you've got a lot of additional damage with the eye stalks continuing to shoot people. And all of the healers are pretty tight on mana at this point because we are trying to navigate through the last part of the fight while dealing with the debuff and the ball bounces. Now right here we kind of make a pretty big mistake, but since this is the only footage I had and I wanted to get the video out, I'm going to go ahead and utilize it. Right there we were supposed to actually let Zon'ozz eat that ball and go into another black phase. That didn't happen. Half of our raid right there sort of just bit the dust from the errant ball. But when this final black phase comes out, you can see we've got a barrier in place. We cycle through barriers and aura masteries and tank cooldowns to end the survival, make sure the raid survives through the end of the fight. Please don't hesitate to let me know if you have questions, and thank you for watching.